Hi. Hi, everybody. Wow.
Okay, so how are you? How's it all going?
Um, it's going good, actually. I have to admit, I'm a bit tired today, but for good reasons, actually. I had a big party on Monday night, and to thank everybody that I've worked with this album. And so it's kind of caught up with me. But I'm good. I'm really happy to see you all. Some familiar faces and some new ones. It's nice to see you. Wow. Actually, it's really nice to see what actually my fans really look like. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. So this is like the cream of the crop, I suppose. But thank you so much for coming.
Okay, so a new album, Passion, is out now. Kept us waiting quite a while. Why did you take such a long break between the last album and Passion?
I think I took a long time to make this album because I think I've changed a lot, as we all do, and how I change when I write songs. You know, I'm always sort of pouring myself into music and what I like, and when I'd finished my second album, I went to America and I kind of wanted to detach from the whole industry a little bit to kind of be human, because otherwise I've got nothing to write about. It's just, you know, it just feels a little bit plastic almost, and I want it to come from a creative place, and then coming back, it's like it's really hard. That there's always room for improvement, and even towards the end of completion, I was thinking, oh, I've suddenly found something else that I want to express. And to be honest, I could have taken another year to do it, but then I thought it comes to a point where the number one reason why I released this album was for you, for the fans, really, because I thought, actually, you've been so loyal, and so I just wanted to share it with, this is my, you know, work that I've been doing. And it's quite nerve-wracking, actually. It's quite an exposing thing to do, but I don't know if that answers it. It's just, I always think, you know, things are going to take as long as they take, sometimes it's going to take, you know, a few months, sometimes it's going to take a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I never like to force things.
Okay. And when you started writing the album, did you have a clear idea of where it was going to go, or did that just evolve as you went along?
I didn't have a clear idea what it was going to be. Actually, to begin with, I thought I was going to really go down, I was going to call the album Disco System Music, and I was really going to go down that kind of real kind of up, four to the floor disco anthems, which, you know, I love and I know a lot of my fans love. And then I thought that's what it was going to evolve, and, you know, I experimented with all different kinds of, I even did some covers, and then it just kept on just changing, and then towards the end, especially in the last 6 months, even after I released Ride It, I suddenly thought, I started going back into the studio, and I was just finding different music, and I started just kind of letting go of things, and I just thought, don't be frightened to change, Geri, because, you know, and I was worried a little bit. I was thinking, oh, I wonder if my fans will stay with me, but I thought, actually, you know, everyone likes something a little bit new, and I don't think it's that radically, it's just an evolvement, and I try not to censor myself, let it go where it's going to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what sort of music were you listening to while you were making the album?
I've always listened to all sorts of music, you know, whether it's going on the radio, what's in the charts, you know, a real cross-section, actually. Sometimes, I like going to clubs and listen. That's the only place where I really listen to R&B music. I think it belongs in clubs. It works for me. I don't really listen to it, you know, at home. I find it's not for me, but I do like it when I'm, you know, to dance to. Otherwise, I'll listen to kind of old school kind of writers like James Taylor, that just singing songwriters. And I always like Frank Sinatra, that's kind of just like always there. But then I'll listen to kind of new up and coming bands. I always listen to Give Anything, and that's new, whether it's the the White Stripes, whether it's whatever's the latest. I'll listen to it, and sometimes, I discover a new band, but I don't jump on fashions that much, I have to say, just because everybody else likes it. I don't.
Okay, sure. And which aspect of the creative process do you enjoy most?
I think it's different. I mean, what I love about being in the studio is you go in and it's just such a cozy environment, and I just get to really express myself playfully. When you're at school and you can just kind of just create something, and it's such a nice feeling of satisfaction when you feel it coming and it comes together, and it's a really healthy way of expressing what's going on in my heart, or if I'm angry, or if I'm whatever it is, and always time stands still when I'm in a studio, and I feel like no one can get to me. I'm just in that bubble of it, and I really like that, and it's a wonderful feeling. It's one of the reasons why I continue to do what I do. And then performing, I really like performing very much, and it's a good buzz, I have to say, and having that contact with my fans. But it's hard, it's very demanding, I have to say, so it's a 50-50 on them, I have to say.
And what's it like being back on the promo trail?
Sometimes it's fun, in certain circumstances, but the odd interview is okay, and you meet some nice people on the way. I don't mind doing this and coming to see my fans. When it's one-on-one and it's really direct and it's real, that makes sense to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, this makes sense. But going on a machine of monotonous kind of things, sometimes it gets a bit much, I have to say. I think, God, sometimes I think, what has this got to do with, but, and then I just have to see it for what it is, and I see it a bit like, no matter what, career anyone's involved with, there's always a bit that you go, okay, I do this in order so I can enjoy the rest of it, really. So.
Okay, cool. So if we take some questions from the web then. The first question is from Turkan Hasili from Azerbaijan, and he says,
God,
which is your most...
Where is that?
I think it's in Russia.
Okay.
He's put, which is your most favourite song from Passion, and why? Must be quite hard to choose.
It's really hard to choose, to say which one. And what happens is I go through different ones, because I've lived with a lot of these songs for a long time, so sometimes I'll listen to them and think, yeah, that's my favourite, and then I'm kind of OD on it, and then I just can't listen, and then I'll pick another one. I think I'm very proud of Feel the Fear. I think that's a beautiful song, and lyrically of Love Would Never Love Me, from an artist's point of view, I think lyrically I love the mastery of the writing of that.
On this album as well, it's been quite personal. Were you afraid of exposing too much of yourself in your writing?
The reason why I decided to make it such a personal album is because I thought my first album actually was pretty personal and very expressionate about what I was feeling. It's almost quite unconscious. This is how it is. And who Geri Halliwell is and always tries to be is very personable. And without betraying my privacy, but I feel like I like to engage in a human way. And I think songs and lyrics are kind of a way to do that. I don't want to be just talking about just superficial. And there are some sort of kind of one-dimensional songs in there, but I can only go on my experience and share it, and that's what I do. And so it does come across personal, but I think people can relate more if I'm personal. Okay. Really.
Cool. Okay, Ryan Emmanuel from Buckinghamshire. Will your solo tour that was postponed earlier this year still be going ahead anytime in the future?
I hope so. I mean, what's come out of this today is I was thinking, you know what, I was really disappointed that it didn't happen, and I just thought, well, I hope that in another way that us guys coming together is something, wouldn't imagine that I'd be doing this, but in a way it's just as nice to be able to sit down and, you know, meet you all. So it's taught me a lesson that, you know, you never know when something doesn't go my way, something else comes equally as, you know, nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I do hope to do some shows in some form, yeah.
Okay, cool. Next question from Spain, Jose Raul Rumi. Hello Geri, I'm a 20-year-old Spanish boy and I only want to ask you one thing. Are you coming to promote your new album to Spain? We miss you so much. I'm sure that your mother wants you to come here and visit all those Spanish fans who love you so much like me.
Okay, maybe I should just send my mother. I don't know. I hope so. I mean, I love Spain. Obviously, it's my roots. But, you know, I don't want to not keep promises. So I hope so.
And do you speak Spanish?
Un poquito. Yeah,
Un
a
poquito.
little. Yeah.
Okay, next question from Andreas from Norway. What was your biggest inspiration during the production of Passion? You've said it's taken 4 years to make the album, but what made you decide to make a comeback in the music industry?
It's funny, everyone always talks about comebacks. I just think, well, you know, I think the music keeps me going because I have to say the music industry is really hard. I find it so difficult dealing with just the business side of it and the media side of it. I really don't like it. But the music side of it, I love it, and it keeps me going. I find it really empowering, and so that really is the passion behind it. That's the inspiration, is actually the love of music. It always has been, and it's always been my great escape, always, since I was a child. It's so real to me, you know, whether it's my music or somebody else's. And yeah, and my father, he always loved kind of jazz singers, and he really affects me. I didn't realise how much looking back, and so that was really nice. And I think there's a couple of songs on there that's, you know, I don't know if, you know, regular pop fans would appreciate it, but Passion in particular, it's kind of touching on that. Yeah.
Okay. Next question from Caroline Harrington in London. If the Spice Girls reformed, would it be around a greatest hits over tour, or would you like to work on some new material?
I think that's a massive question,
Yeah, that is.
and you know, and I only have I only have 1/5 of an answer really, and I could never speak. To answer a Spice Girl question, you need five girls to answer it. I don't know how to.
Would you like to work on new material personally?
You know what? I think the Spice Girls was, you know, kind of, and you can never say never, but it was almost a moment in time. I would be quite cautious, you know, to kind of break.
You want to keep it special?
Yeah, keep it special. And but if we are to do any, you know, any kind of show, it's got to be for the right reasons. And I'd like to think I never do anything purely for financial reasons. It's just it just never works in my experience. It's got to be for love, do you know what I mean? Or, you know, something, you know, for goodwill. I always put that first, you know.
And there's been lots of rumours about Live 8. Is that something that might happen?
Again, you know, I'm 1/5, and all I can do is speak for myself. I think it's a wonderful thing, you know, to support Live 8, and you know, it has my full support. It really does. And whether, you know, we actually do it, you know, is something that I feel that we should announce together.
Okay. Cool. Next question. Will you be releasing Love Never Loved Me as your next single? It's fantastic. I hope you do. It's my favourite song of yours, from Kevin Lahan in Ireland.
It's funny, that was Love Never Loved Me. When I was going to choose singles, it's really hard, and I did some meditation once. This was before Christmas, and I thought, oh, I should release this record, and I was so but then I was scared to release it because it's so kind of, I thought, oh God, it sounds a bit, you know, poor me. But then, and it's a bit like vulnerable. And I thought, I'm so tired of, you know, showing that side. And it felt too private. I didn't mind sort of it among a body of work. And I was having lunch with my mother today, and she goes, I love that song, Lovely, Never Lovely. And I was thinking, oh, I always have that kind of, oh, maybe I should have done. I don't know, I really don't. I mean,
It's actually a question that came up quite a lot, if you would be releasing it, so.
So,
I think it's,
I don't know, I don't
it's
know.
quite
I
popular
don't know if
here,
it's
isn't it?
missed its boat.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's missed its boat.
Right.
I don't know if it should have been. But then I wrote Desire, and Desire, you know, Love Never Love Me is from the soul, you know, it's from the heart. Desire is from like the hips and the head. Do you know what I mean? It's an ego song. It's something completely different. And sometimes I want to put something out that's kind of a bit more detached. Do you know what I mean? It's just for our personal enjoyment on the dance floor. Do you know, I just, it's such a personal thing sometimes, releasing music.
Sure. Okay. What's the funniest experience you had while making this album from Justin Woods in the United States?
Funny experience. I don't know about funny. I mean, the whole experience is like a massive roller coaster. It really is. It's when I handed over the final, finished. You know, I remember saying, "That's it. It's over. It's handed in." I started crying like with such almost relief. Do you know what I mean? Because it was such a mountain to do it. I mean, it's had its moments of, you know, of joy, despair, fear, laughter. It's wonderful when people really respond to it, like when they hear songs like I Give Up on Love.
Yeah, that's a funny song.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was kind of interesting for me because I know there's a child here, but it was that I was meant to, I don't give an F, we're going to use the F word in it, and that's when it was written. And I had this big screaming match with my record company saying, because they wanted to take it out. And they were saying, well, if you leave it in, there's going to have to be a sticker on the front of the album saying explicit language. I thought, oh, God, everyone's going to think I'm, you know, like Eminem. Like, and I was like, oh, okay. So maybe it's just giving off the wrong impression. And I like my music. Obviously, you know, I want to be cool and I want to speak to everybody. But, you know, then I just thought, well, maybe it's not so good to have the F word.
So now it goes, ah!
Yeah, it goes, ah! We went through
Is
all
that
different...
you?
Yeah, that is. And then we went through all different... I had to go back into the studio, and I was so cross to go and re-record something in its place. And I went through all these different things, trying to... what it could be, do you know what I mean? I think I said, fat, or, do you know what I mean? Try and make so you knew what I meant. Yeah, bleep, or, you know, so you'd get it. But I just had to let it go, it's all right.
And when did you know that you had the album in the can, as it were? Like, when did you decide that's it?
It was finished, actually, I think at the end of Jan, beginning of February. And then it was finished. And then I was ill in bed and lying there feeling really poorly. I had the flu. And then I was lying there, my head was going tick, 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 and then I suddenly got a melody and a kind of a lyric in my head. And I rang up Peter Fatesi. Like, I love working with this guy. He's so cool. He's a Scottish guy. And he's just the best to write with. I wrote Calling with him and Passion and Give Up on Love. And he really sort of celebrates me as an artist. He really allows me. He's the most uncynical guy. He just does it for the music, and he's like a jazz man. He's really kind of deep. And I just rang out and going, oh, I've got this melody, and he goes, give me a reason, da 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 da, and giving it to him, and he goes, okay, come down. And I'd already finished, and that was kind of pretty mad. It was done, and I still went back and just one more, and so that was the last minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, next question. Geri, you've been writing and recording Passion for a few years now. How many songs did you record, and was it a difficult process deciding which ones would make the album?
Yeah, I mean, again, I just think some of those songs, for example, Loving Me Back to Life, I wrote that song, or the lyric of it, for loving me back to life, you might just get a lot, you know, I might get some lyric of it, and I was on a balcony. It was the summer of It's Raining Men, and I'd just taken a holiday, and I remember just like tanning myself on a balcony really hot and just writing these lyrics down, and then not a bit later writing it with Guy Chambers. I'd go in with a lyric and a bit of the melody, and then Guy Chambers would put some music around it. So that has lasted 4 years, that song. So I was thinking, if it still sounds good, then it's a great song. For me, that's how I always test it. The same with like Feel the Fear. That was the big, I mean, I was depressed as hell when I wrote that song. And, I thought, I'm sick of the music industry, that's it. And then I went and wrote that song. And that lasted. I didn't want to put any gimmicky songs in there. I tried not. I was towards the end, I thought, don't. Just do what really speaks to you and what you love listening to. And also, I listened to Michael Jackson's album, Off the Wall. And I think that's the perfect album of where it kind of starts off funky, and then it takes you on a journey, and then it sort of slows down, and he's crying a bit, out of my life, and it goes back up again. Because I was thinking, how does it give that curve? Because I think not every song on an album should be in your face. Some of it should sit back and just kind of be like a hot bath. So I was trying to pick songs that some of them that didn't jump out at you. For me, the song Let Me Love You More is just kind of really just tranquil and calming and sweet. Just to sit back. And so it's an album that doesn't, smack you around the face and interrupt. It's just meant to kind of hang back a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how I chose it. Just kept on listening.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next question. Did you enjoy appearing in Sex and the City? And if you could do a cameo in another show, which would it be, from Rebecca Hicks and Colchester?
I love doing Sex and the City. And I tried to, to give it an actual character that it was a little part, rather than being on there as Geri Halliwell. Her name was Phoebe Kittenworth, and really give her something to do, rather than just show up as a pop star. Yeah. And just for how many little lines, I mean, it was such a kudos to be on that show. Like all my girlfriends were like, oh my God, it's so amazing. And when you do a sitcom in America, they're very, very strict and disciplined about timings, on the button for comedy. And so I was a bit nervous, and but then I suddenly thought, I really feel like this is fantastic. It was such a great, so I would like to do more of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Geri, have you ever considered a theatrical stint on Broadway, whether in a one-woman show or as part of a production?
That's some great career advice here. Kind of, lots of different ideas go through my head, and I never tried to, to kind of discuss it too big until I was sure. But one thing, I really admire anybody that does work on the stage, because it's so demanding, I never say never, but I think it's always, to me, when I make choices, try and make it about the material, the loving of the thing, of the creativity of what it is.
Sure.
And go from there, so it depends.
Okay, next question from Ellen Rich in Suffolk. Just how hurt are you by what the press say?
I'm so hurt. Do you know what, the funny thing is, as soon as I read that line of how I could think, oh, are they saying bad things about me? I try not to take any note of it. Sometimes I feel really disappointed, do you know what I mean? Because I just think, what's the point of being rude for the sake of it? And then I have to remember that, most people's critique is just one person's opinion, and I'm not going to please everyone. It's okay for people not to like my music. That's okay. Some people will like, Jay-Z. Some people are going to like, Coldplay. Some people are going to like Geri Halliwell. Some people are going to like Mozart. Whatever. That's okay. I don't feel good when people kind of are personal. I think that's not very kind, and I think it's unnecessary and cheap. And I've had to sort of just say to myself, detach from it. I mean, sometimes when I see a kind of a magazine in the back of a car or something, I'm like, oh, hello, and I want to have a look. And I just feel like it's like junk food for the soul. It really is, and it's almost addictive to look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, whether they're pointing at me or anybody else, I think that whole game is. The only way to, I put it in that song of Loving Me Back to Life, the only way to win is not to play the game. It's not to engage. I just put my hands up. I cannot beat the media, what they think of me. So I say, do you know what? You can think what you like. I've given up.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it that continually inspires and drives you to bring out like new albums and writing new books?
I think earlier on, I had this huge need to express myself and like, do you understand? This is, and I just felt so kind of, I think it's about growing up. I wanted to be understood. And actually, I think that's changed for me now. I'd rather be of service. In the sense that I think it's better to understand than be understood. I think that's much more liberating, and to take. So if I ever go to do another book or anything, I'd sort of question, what it's about more. I don't feel the need to be so kind of I don't know, to where it's coming from. It changes for me massively.
Just happens.
Yeah, if it happens, it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Out of all the songs you've ever written, which one means the most to you and why? From Christopher in London.
God, so hard,
It's
isn't
quite
it?
a hard question. So many songs.
I was thinking about was this song called "Love Is the Only Light." It was on my second album, and it's kind of it's not a massive song that anyone would probably remember. It's not like a instant kind of, but it's kind of just a really delicate little song that was written in my kitchen with this Swedish guy, and he got his guitar out. They were actually mainly his lyrics, actually, and I contributed on them. I just think that's such a nice lyric, that whatever's going wrong, when I feel like crap, that sort of that affirmation, that love actually will can override everything in time. I really believe that. And so that really touches me when I hear that song, or just that line. Yeah.
Okay. Hi Geri, so great to have you back after such a long break. You have been missed. I would like to ask you if your Desire video where you lick the milk from the bowl, is this paying homage to Madonna as she does in Express Yourself?
Oh, that's a really nice compliment. When I wrote the treatment for this, the idea was that I was to show, that the girl is, the kind of the feline cat inside every woman. That she's kind of like, she might be, a bit shy, but inside is kind of a kind of girl. And that moment of climbing on the desk, licking the bowl, I think I might have made reference to the, like Madonna did. And I had to drink a lot of milk. I was just like, oh my God. I have to say it was soya. Oh God, I was feeling a bit sick. Yeah, I was.
Certainly. Okay. What has been your most rewarding experience in life so far from Neil Fox in Ireland?
And most rewarding?
Experience in life so far?
Just different ones. I'm going to remember this one because, this is different. I don't think I've done this before, so I'm going to remember this. It feels quite nice and intimate. And I'm finding what touches me more, actually, kind of the smaller, more intimate things. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've got older, that sort of refined taste. I don't know. I spoke at Oxford last week, and that just felt so good to do that. I'm not going to forget that in a hurry. But then equally, in other ways, like performing and just sweating and losing myself in a performance. When I was doing It's Raining Men, that was just giving me such a high when I used to do that. And in front of a massive crowd. I've done that in Russia, or when I was in Oman. Instantly, I think of that in front of all these soldiers. and it was like 5,000 soldiers and a lot of testosterone. They hadn't seen a girl for a long time. They were scared they were going to the Iraq war. It was just after 9/11. You know, and then I came on with my little hot pants going, all right, it's me. and I was really scared because there was this, they had a big screen up and England were playing. And I think it's against Greece, and they were getting all drunk and 5,000 men watching, and I thought, oh my God, if England lose, I'm in so big trouble. And thankfully, I think David Beckham scored, and then so they were all happy. And then Steps had to go on before me. Do you remember the band Steps? Yeah. And, anyways, they went and did this kind of what, and they were getting bottled. I was like, oh my God, I've got to go on after them. What am I going to do? And what made it worse was the guy from Steps was going, stop it, stop it. And I was like, they were doing it more, and I was like, oh God. So I was thinking, I'm going on to this next. But, so I went on, and I just didn't try and control them. I just went, you know what, let's just have a great time. They were just very respectful to me, and no one threw anything. So, but it was just a huge buzz, it was. But I felt like I was dealing with a big Tyrannosaurus Rex almost. If I kind of didn't keep them, you know, a certain way, then, you know, they could turn at any time. I was scared. But it was good. It was amazing. It was really hot as well. And I was in this, and I was transported in this massive helicopter. It was just very extreme and scary at the same time, because we felt that we were on the brink of war as well. And so that was amazing. I've had some amazing experiences. I've met Nelson Mandela. You know, my career has taken me through so many places. In fact, we're in a room where this Virgin Records is my original record company, and I've had many big conferences and discussions, serious ones, when managers have been sacked and, you know, the record company is scared, and sitting around this table where we're going with when I was in the Spice Girls. So this room has seen lots. It's funny that I'm, you know,
and you're here again.
I'm here again. It's nice.
Okay, cool. It might be a good time to ask the audience if they have some questions.
Anybody got any questions?
If you can put your hand up and...
Yeah, we'll go to you first. Just wait for man Aidan to get onto the camera. Capture you in your glory.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hi Geri, I'm Kerry,
Hi, Karen.
and I've come up from Devon today.
Oh, wow.
My question is, what ringtone is on your phone at the minute?
Wow.
Do you know, I have it on silent. I can't bear it.
It's not Crazy Frog then?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No. Silent.
Hers is Geri Halliwell.
Oh, really?
It's so that when I phone,
Oh, that's so cute. Which song?
Desire.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
Okay, over here.
Yes, there you go.
I just wanted to know what made you decide to put True Love Never Dies as a B-side. Because I think, personally, that's one of my favourite songs of yours.
Oh, wow.
And to hear it as a B-side, I think it's an incredible song.
Yeah,
Lyrically and musically, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? Well, thank you very much. I think True Love Never Dies. I wrote that with Peter Fatesi, and we kind of, you know, I was quite unsure on that, but whether it was, you know, now I'm thinking, damn, maybe I should have done. No, it's okay. But then, you know, with B-sides, I never want to shortchange my fans, do you know what I mean? Like, as a record buyer, I just think, well, there should be great songs on there as well.
It's like getting better as well. I think that's a great song. Not a B-side. Breaking Glass.
Oh, Breaking Glass.
As well,
Yeah, I think, do you know what? Breaking Glass is probably one, I feel really proud of that song. But the thing is, I wrote that sort of mid-promotion on the second album, so we put it on a B-side, and I thought, well, I can't really put it on an album. I don't know, it just felt like I'm shortchanging people, and I just never want to do that. So I want to give people fresh material. So,
Hi, Joe, I'm Stuart.
hi, Stuart. Hi.
How
Where
do
are
you
you
stay
from?
next? Huh?
Where are you from?
Gloucestershire.
Wow.
Very nice.
Oh.
Well, thank you very much. That's hard to keep any modesty.
That's brainy.
Do you know, I think sometimes I have different days where I feel you know, pretty and good about myself, and other days when I don't. And I think that really, I think if I feel good on the inside, that helps, you know. I wouldn't consider myself as like, you know, model beautiful at all. What I've learned is that, like you can sparkle through your eyes and through your soul, and a really good bit of lip gloss, you know, and a good haircut. You know, just taking care of myself. I try to, you know, with having a balance. Really, I quit smoking, and I think that did good for my skin. I sleep a lot, drink a lot of water. Those kind of things that you hear regularly. Have you read the book A Picture of Dorian Gray? Okay, it was about a man that's beautiful looking. He's got this picture in the attic, which is kind of really old and ugly. I've got the same. There you go. But no, it's not funny. But sorry. If anyone read the book, they'd get it. But I don't know. I definitely think that if you feel kind of good about yourself, that shines through. Really does.
Hi, Adam from East Sussex. What happened to the song 100% Pure Love?
Do you know, my A&R man found me that song, and it's obviously, it would be a cover. And it was out 10 years ago, and it was very big in America. And got my A&R man, Chris Briggs. He's fantastic. He's been with me from the beginning of my solo career. He does me and Robbie Williams. And he found me this song, and I really loved it. And I said, well, I just want to rework it a little bit, like make it my own, like with the verses. And it was going to be the first single. And we got some great producer on it, and it really fattened it up. But then and then we kind of missed the slot for the summer. I started rehearsing it, and I just felt like, I suddenly just thought, you know what, I just want to do something different. It just didn't feel right. I don't know why. And I've always tried and go with my gut with it. And maybe I just didn't want to do a cover, I can't remember. But do you like it?
It's good, yeah.
Cool.
We should have done the B-side.
Okay. Maybe I still can.
Okay.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
When you finish recording one of your albums,
Yeah.
how would you personally judge its success?
This is different. This is, you know, a big question, because before, you know, bear in mind that I've come from the Spice Girls, which was, you know, is a phenomena. You know, the instant success, huge amount of sales figures, and so I was very much used to that. And it's like being in class and you're used to getting A's, and you know, and then equally with my the first record, I was getting a lot of number ones and stuff. And now, I'm not sure how well this record is going to do economically with numbers, but I've had to, and this just come from maturity, I feel like this is the best record I've ever done, this one. I just do. I think the first record was better than the second record. This is what I'm looking at it today. But I think this is the best creatively, you know, thought out, artistic record that I've made. I feel really proud of it. And so I have to measure it personally through that, because I've got no control whether, you know, X, Y, B, whether it suddenly goes, oh my God, you know, it suddenly goes through the roof, or it doesn't, or it just does okay. I really can't control that. And if I keep giving my kind of power away, so to speak, then I'm in very shaky ground. And I used to do that a lot. And it was a very uncomfortable place, actually. So I've had to learn. Success is a journey, not a destination. I've really realised that. So and I asked myself, did I enjoy the process of it? Yes, I did. You know, it was brilliant. And also delivering it to, I felt so frustrated at certain points. I just wanted my fans to hear it. At one point, I had a conversation with someone. I went, do you know what? I'm just going to get the album. I just want to give it to the fans, because they're the ones that, you know, we can just, I don't know, sit it out. But that's really was the most important thing to me. more than anything else. I just felt there was such loyalty between my fans and me. That's all I wanted to do. Really, that was so.
So if we have like, a few quick questions,
Okay.
what's your most prized possession from Alex in Greece?
Possession. I don't want my possessions to possess me. If I'm too clingy on anything, you know, at my party the other night, I took loads of pictures, and I lost the camera, and I'm so gutted, and I was so devastated the next morning. I just couldn't find it, and it just makes me realise I can never get too attached to anything. You know, whether it's a nice car, you know, I crash it, or it just, you know, I entered this world empty. I'm leaving it that way. I have to say, I try and be a spiritual person, but equally, I do love material things. I like big cars and I like big houses and all of those things because I come from a lower working class background. So when I don't have because I didn't have money, I like it now. But I realise that money is my servant, not my master, and equally as my possessions. I think it's healthy to keep, recycling things and not hold on to stuff. I think if it's sentimental, then that's more, like the camera with my photos. And I'm just like,
It might turn up. When is your dog Harry's birthday? That's a proper question from
I
Jack.
don't know, that's a really good question. Yeah. Oh.
We had quite a few questions of when are you coming to this country and that country. Have you got plans to go to any countries this year?
I think I might be going to Germany.
Okay. Who is your all-time favourite girl group from Mandy, Tonke in Belgium?
The Spice Girls.
What's your favourite childhood memory from Sebastian in London?
Talking of poetry makes me think of a childhood memory because I used to have an outside toilet, and so we'd have to go outside, and I remember sitting on the step of my outside toilet waiting, and someone was in there and just writing poetry. Then even for a little girl, always doing it. So.
Okay. How have you changed from the girl who performed on the first Spice Girls single, from Katie Andrews? That's quite
Wow.
a large question.
So I can't believe some of the things in which way I've changed. In certain things that I want to keep, like the spontaneity, and in silly ways I don't wear high shoes, but in a way I feel like I've done full circle in certain ways. I think I'm much more chilled out, and I think I'm more accepting and person. I mean, I think I've changed dramatically in the last year. I mean, if some of you saw the documentary, I mean, I'll share with you guys. I think that documentary was just, I don't like it. I feel like it was really one-dimensional, and like 9 months of filming, and they showed 90 minutes of one part of me being do you know what I mean? We all have a mad moment, and I just felt like it could have. I was disappointed because I would have liked to. I was very trusting of the people that made it, and because I think one should never be their own editor, because then I think it's kind of looks more of a, a promotional glamour thing, which I think is kind of distasteful. But so I think it's better to let somebody else have a point of view of you, and I would have liked to have shared other parts of me. That there was so much more of the making of the album. I thought they just showed one bit of me, the crazy bit of Geri when she's having a mad moment, and that was it. And I felt really disappointed of that, and I felt like I've changed dramatically. Actually, by watching it, I was like, oh my god. And I think all the experiences that I've been blessed to receive have been amazing reasons to make me grow, and you know, I'm really grateful for that. You know, I'm grateful for today, you know, to just sit down and say thank you to all of you individually, you know, because actually if you didn't buy my records, or, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I just want to say thank you. It's really nice to see you all. Thanks.
Okay, I think that's quite a nice place to wrap up the proceedings. So
Okay,
thank
cool.
you very much, Geri, for coming in.
Excellent. Thank you very much.